everyone and welcome to my channel. I hope that you're all okay. So in today's video I'm doing my own nails and I've also included the prep and filing, so it's a complete start to finish acrylic application video which was requested by one of my subscribers, so I hope you are watching. So I'm starting off, it's sped up by the way, the whole video, otherwise it'd be super long. So I'm starting off by prepping my nails. I've already sanitized all my hands and nails using the CJP prep spray. And now I'm just using my cuticle pusher to push back all the cuticles and start removing that excess cuticle that's on the nail plate. So I don't actually have too much prep work to do because I only recently did my nails, so there wasn't a lot of cuticle to remove, and I don't actually like over nipping my own cuticles either, so I don't remove too much with cuticle pushers either. That's just my personal preference on myself because my own nails are a little bit weak and the skin's a little bit weak due to some medication I was on, and plus with all the extra hand sanitizing as well, so I don't overdo prep on myself, but my nails always seem to last, so all good. So once I've finished with the cuticle pusher, I come in with this cuticle bit on my e-file, and I've got this down on a really low speed. I think it's like a 2 or a 3, and I just sort of whiz around that cuticle area, and it just brings up a little bit more than the cuticle pusher, and you can really get down into the sidewalls of the nail as well. And then I just scrub away all of that cuticle just so I can sort of see the nails and see the nail plate and see what else needs doing. And then I come in with my cuticle nippers and just nip off some of those little straggly bits of cuticle. Some people, like I said, remove a lot more than I do here, but this is just how I do my own nails. Everyone has their own personal preference. Once my cuticles do get a little bit more overgrown or they start feeling hard, then I usually nip them away, to be honest, but my hands just feel like they've taken a battering at the moment with all the washing and sanitizing, so I didn't want to overdo it. And then I come in with a 180 grit file and just etch the entire nail plate. So I'm doing this quite gently. It looks quite rough because the video is sped up, but it's really gentle basically. I'm just roughening up that nail plate so the acrylic has something to grab onto. And I'm only doing 4 fingers in the video. I did the thumb off camera the following day, to be honest. I just sort of did this design, or just did this video for the purpose of doing a video because I fancied putting some nails on myself anyway. And then again, scrubbing away all of that dust, and then this is what my nails look like. I'm then going to come in and apply my tips. So these are just pre-pinched coffin tips, I believe, and I'm applying them with my CJP gripper glue. I had already sized them all up, so I'm just jumping straight in and applying them. So I place them down, allow the glue in the center to set, and then I just pinch in the wings. So you can see here, I'm just pinching down those corners and making sure that they are really stuck down. And then I'm going to do the same again. I think I just showed doing it on 2 nails because I didn't want the video to be too long or too repetitive. So as you can see, I just rock it on, place it down, apply most of that pressure in the center of the nail tip, and then I just press on the sides once I know the middle has set. And then that was all the nail tips applied, and then I'm going to come in and just lightly sort of shape them. I don't shape my tips too much, to be honest, because I hate the feel of filing the tips when they've not got any acrylic on them. It just, I don't know, it gives me that feeling even when watching it of, you know, like when someone scrapes their nails across a chalkboard. It just makes me feel funny, so I don't over shape my tips, to be honest. I just sort of here I'm blending in those wings just to make sure that there's not any bits sticking up, and so that the tips blended in a little bit to the nail plate. These tips are well less and they're quite thin as well, so they don't take too much to blend in, and I do put a clear acrylic base down anyway, which evens everything out. So I did do that on all 4 nails, but again, I think I just showed doing it on 1 nail. And just make sure to give the tips a good clean and make sure you get all the loose little bits off and any dust, etc. Then I'm coming in with my dehydrator and apply that to all of the nails, allow that to dry, and then I'm going to come in with the CJP Acid Primer. And again, I'm just going to apply that to all of the nails and then allow it to dry. You don't need to take this up over onto the tips, you just need to get it on the natural nail plate. I'm then going to come in and do a thin clear base of CJP crystal glass. So I've applied that down at the cuticle area, tapping it into place and then pulling it down towards the free edge. As you can see, it's a really thin layer. I just find that clear adheres best to the nail plate. And then if I'm coming in with any glitter or anything like that, there's already a base down. And then as well, it makes life much easier if I want to do a redesign, because I can just file back down to this clear layer and then start my new design. So again, I do this to all of the nails. I think I've just shown you guys doing it on 2. And because this is only a thin layer down and there's no strength or structure yet, you do still need to be really careful with the nails when working on them. So now we're ready to move on to the fun part, which is the design. So I'm coming in with this white acrylic, which is from CJP. I think this one is coconut milk. So I'm placing that down where the tip meets the natural nail, blending out the back of that bead and just making sure that the colour comes right down towards the free edge. I do come in with another bead, I believe, or 2, just to build up that coverage. So as you can see, I'm just applying medium to wet beads and just building up the colour. I don't want to add too much bulk because I'll be adding glitter to this now and encapsulating. So I'm just keeping it nice and thin, making sure to blend out the back of it. Although, like I said, it's going to have glitter on it and it's going to be a glitter fade, it just looks a little bit neater and easier to work with when you are applying your glitter if you haven't got a harsh line there. So I'm just making sure that's really faded out. And then I'm going to be using this beautiful glitter from the Glitter Nail Angel. This one is called Sprite and it's a beautiful iridescent mix. As I said in my previous, well, a couple of videos ago, I'm loving iridescent glitter at the moment. I feel like it's all I use. So I'm picking that up with a small wet bead of crystal glass, dipping into the raw glitter, placing it down at the cuticle area. I've already got my clear base there, so my nail plate is already covered, but I'm just making sure to get a nice neat cuticle area with the glitter. And I just felt it looked a little too subtle, so I do come over the top with another bead of glitter just to build up the coverage a little bit more. I wanted it to be a little bit more sparkly. Keeping my brush nice and wet so I'm able to pat and press that acrylic into place, or sorry, the glitter and acrylic into place without it all sticking to my brush, and I can just really nudge it around and make sure I'm happy with the fade and all the glitter pieces are lying nice and flat. And then over the top of that, I'm just tapping on some of these iridescent hearts. I was going to say stars then. Tapping on these iridescent hearts. I can't remember where these ones are from, unfortunately. And then that now is finished, I will cap it further on in the video. So we're moving on to the middle finger, and this is going to be a full now of CJP Birthday Suit. And Birthday Suit is a core powder, so I'm going to be building all my strength and apex, etc. with this colour. My application was a little off, to be honest. I struggled a little bit, and also I was working from one of the small sample size pots, and it was right at the bottom, so I did struggle to pick up a good bead. I was having to work with smaller beads, but I was determined to use this colour because I absolutely love it, and I do plan on ordering a larger size pot when I do my next CJP order. And this design, or this set, sorry, the design inspo was because a group I run, one of the admins has been doing some challenges on it, and one of the recent ones was to recreate or design a bridal inspired set. So that was my inspiration behind this set. And yeah, I was quite pleased with how they turned out, to be honest. I don't really ever do nudes or French on myself too often. I'm not really a pink and white on myself kind of girl. I like to have a little bit of colour. So I did end up, after I think 1 or 2 days after doing this set, I ended up changing this nail to a purple glittery gel polish, and then I did the same on the thumb as well. But for the purpose of the bridal set, I really loved how this looked. So here I just felt as though the nail looked a little thin, and like I said, I'm not going to be capping it. So I just come in with another small bead, blended out the back of it, and I'm just keeping the bulk of the product here in that apex area just to build up the strength so that I know it's structurally sound. Onto the ring finger, we're doing that French nail. Now, I really struggled to stay in shot with this first part of this nail because I really wanted to do quite an exaggerated extended nail bed, so I wanted it to have quite a deep smile line and things like that. So when I placed the bead down and I was trying to press it into place, I kept bringing my hand closer to my face so I could see what I was doing, and that kind of just meant I was going out of shot. So it's a little annoying that you can't see fully what I'm doing, but all I'm basically doing is placing that bead of acrylic down and using my brush to create the shape of the smile line. Like I said, I want it to have quite deep wings, so I'm just playing around with it until I'm happy with how the shape is and trying to get most of the work done with my brush so I don't have a lot of filing to do. So then I come in with the next bead once I've got a rough shape of what my smile line is going to be, and place that down, blend out the back of it, and then I'm just pulling it down over the previous bead of acrylic just to build up the thickness and the height of that wall. Again, Birthday Suit is a strength powder, so I'm building up all my apex here as well. So then with the cuticle and apex bead, I just tap it into place at that cuticle area, and then I'm leaving the bulk of the product there to create the apex and just pulling the top of that acrylic down to blend it out, keeping the wings and everything as neat, the sidewalls as neat as possible. And then I'm going to leave that to set because I will file it crisp. So whilst that's setting, I've moved on to the little finger. So this is going to be an ombre with some glitter. So I'm placing down that same coconut milk, blending out the back of the bead and then pulling it down towards the free edge, making sure there's not that harsh line there so that my nude will cover it nicely. And just making sure the free edge is completely opaque with the white. I don't want to add too much bulk because again, I'm adding the glitter and the hearts, so it needs to be encapsulated. And then usually whenever I'm doing an ombre, I like to leave the first colour to set before applying the second. So whilst that white is setting, I'm going to come back to the pointer finger and encapsulate this nail. So I'm placing the clear down at that cuticle area, tapping it up into place at the cuticle and then dragging the product down towards the free edge. And work slightly wetter when I'm capping just so I don't get any bubbles. And as you can see, so the acrylic just sort of flows into place. It seems to make it a lot easier. Again, here with this layer, I'm building up that strength, but I'm also making sure that all that glitter and the hearts are completely covered so that they don't get filed into when it does come to filing. And then we're going to come back and finish off the little finger because the white has set. So I'm placing Birthday Suit down right where that white has blended out, just tapping it into place and then gently pulling the top of it down over the white to create the fade. I didn't need to create a perfect ombre because I'm going to be coming over the top with some hearts, but I still wanted it to look as good as I could get it. I did struggle again on the little finger because I'm using my size 14 brush, I think this one is. It's a 12 to 14, I can't remember. And my baby finger's nail bed is so tiny, it was a little tricky to get neat cuticle application here. Usually I would switch to my size 8 to 10 brush, but I was just in the zone getting the nails done and I didn't. But it went okay in the end, and luckily I never got any on the cuticle or the skin. So I'm just coming in with a little bit more here just to build up that coverage because I'm working with quite small beads, so I just wanted it to be a little bit more opaque. In all honesty, it wasn't the best ombre, but I didn't worry too much because I was coming in with the glitter. If I wasn't coming in with the glitter, I probably would have come in with a bit more of the nude colour just to sort of perfect that fade a little bit. But then I just put a wash of clear acrylic down and I'm tapping on some iridescent hearts. I applied these first because I was just going to put these down on their own, but I felt as though they looked a little bit odd, so I decided to add some of that Sprite glitter mix as well. So I'm just faffing around, getting the hearts into place, and then I will come in and just sort of wash the Sprite glitter mix around the hearts. And I quite liked how it looked in the end, so I was definitely glad that I added the glitter. When in doubt, just add a little bit of glitter and it fixes everything. But this is such a beautiful mix, it looks so pretty. Off camera, I then capped this nail in CJP Crystal Glass, and now we're going to come in and file our smile line crisp. So I'm just using my 100 grit file to do this. Like I said, I did most of the shaping of the smile line with my brush, so I don't have too much filing to do. I'm just crisping up the edges so it looks nice and sharp. And as you can see, I'm doing this by holding my file as flat to the acrylic as I can. It was a little tricky to record. And then once I have got all that shaped nicely and I'm happy with how it looks, I just make sure to scrub away all of the dust. And then I'm coming in with that coconut milk at the free edge. Now this, I'm out of shot here as you could see, so I did cut the start of applying this white acrylic out. Again, working with the exaggerated smile line, I just found it a little bit tricky. It's definitely something I need a little bit more practice with. So when I was getting right down deep into the wings of the smile line, I just kept going out of shot, so I didn't want you to sit and watch a couple of minutes of not being able to see what I'm doing, so I just cut it out of the video. But all I'm basically doing is applying that white acrylic to the entire free edge of the nail. You probably know, but it doesn't matter if it goes over the pink acrylic, because when it comes to filing, we will file it all in and reveal that smile line. And I have left the filing in for you guys on one nail. I chose to leave it in on the nude nail as I felt that was the nail that actually ended up needing the most sort of filing and shaping, to be honest. So I'm coming in, I start off with a 100 grit file and I file the lower arches of the nail. Like I said, I don't like filing my tip into shape when it's on my nail, when I've just got the tip on with no acrylic. So the lower arches needed correcting. So I just come in first of all and do that with my file. And then I just go up the side wall, around the cuticle area and down the other side wall, just refining. I try to get my application as good as possible so there isn't too much filing to do, as I absolutely hate filing. But once I'm happy with how the side walls look and around that cuticle area, I start coming over the surface of the nail, just evening out any lumps or bumps that are there. And then I just keep doing this until I'm happy with the entire nail. Here I'm just coming in and shaping up the nail now. So I'm always looking at it from different angles so that I'm happy with the shaping. And then I just sort of file, check the nail, file, check the nail, because I don't want to over file and then be unhappy with how the nail looks. When I am shaping the free edge, as you can see, I'm keeping my file flat to the side walls and the free edge as possible. I just find that this is the easiest way to get that nice crisp shape. I'm by no means perfect at shaping. It's something that I'm always working on, but I've definitely seen an improvement over the last year. So I do usually also buff my nails with a white buffing block, but I completely forgot to do that today. Luckily, it didn't have a negative effect on the set. But once I have usually finished filing and buffing, I'll give the nails a good scrub with some soapy water and a nail brush, just to make sure all of that dust is completely removed. And we're then going to come in and do some stamping. So I'm using this mandala plate from Moyu. It is absolutely beautiful. I've used it in a few videos lately and I absolutely love it. So this is going to be what we're doing on the ring finger. So I've picked up my design. I'm using the Nicole Diary white stamping polish and I'm just placing that down in the center of the nail. Now this nail, I actually ended up changing this when I did my thumb, and I decided to put a purple gel polish over it just because I don't usually ever wear nude nails on myself and it just felt a little bit odd not having no colour. So like I said, I did this set for a challenge over on the group that I run, but decided after doing them I weren't really feeling the bridal inspired set on myself, so I swapped it up with some purple gel polish on that stamped nail and my thumb. I will try and add a picture of what they looked like on my Instagram at some point. And now I'm just top coating all of the nails with the CJP tack free top gloss. I do double top coat the stamping nail, however I only show you guys top coat in the first coat just because it was just easier for the video. But yeah, I just apply a second layer of top coat over the stamping because I just find this helps it last the duration of the set. So once I have top coated them all, I will pop them in my LED lamp to cure for 60 seconds. And then I always allow the top coat to cool for a minute or two before applying my cuticle oil. So I'll pop back in a mo when we're on to doing that. So this is what the nails looked like once they had cured, and I'm then going to come in and apply my cuticle oil. I always like to apply a generous amount of cuticle oil and really massage that into the skin and cuticles to help replenish them, because obviously you've been applying product and filing, so they take a little bit of a battering. Well, mine do anyway, so I like to apply a nice amount of that. And then this is what the finished result looked like. This was my first go at doing a sort of bridal inspired set, so let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below, or give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed watching. If you're watching and you're not already subscribed to my channel, I would absolutely love it if you hit subscribe. So thank you all so much for watching. Take care, lots of love, and I shall see you all again soon. Bye bye.